Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise every single weekend. And this weekend, I am on a very special cruise. I am out of Port Los Angeles on the Navigator of the Seas, a ship I am very familiar with because it was over in Miami pre-COVID doing the weekend cruises out of Miami. So it was my home ship before the freedom of the seas, and it has been great to be back. So I wanted to come back and share with you some of my observations about the junior suite that I have on the Navigator of the Seas and how that stacks up to the Freedom of the Seas, because Freedom of the Seas is my home ship now. My loyalties has changed, and so I am always comparing things to the Freedom of the Seas to see, is this better than what I'm normally used to? And so I wanted to run through some of the differences in the suite here. So if you're looking at East Coast, West Coast, or maybe even down the road there in different spots, should you get a junior suite on the Navigator or the Freedom, you will know exactly what the differences are and what you can expect. So to start out with, when you come into the Navigator of the Seas in the junior suite, I was first of all blown away. They have done some updating of this cabin, and it's not a lot. The framework of the cabin, you'll see, is still very similar to the Freedom of the Seas, but they have updated the furniture. The furniture on the Freedom, I can't tell you how dated that furniture looks. I walk in and it just looks like it's out of the 80s, if not maybe a little bit older. The ship is probably an early mid-2000s ship. Don't hold me to that, and I probably should memorize some more of those details. But the furniture here has been updated, and it makes a huge difference on how bright and how open the sunshine is, or excuse me, the room is. When the sun was coming in, hitting the brighter colors and the lighter colors, it makes a world of difference. You've also got updated curtains on the Navigator of the Seas, and you wouldn't think that this would be something that you would notice, but the curtains on the Navigator, specifically the sheer ones, match the furniture, and they match them in the aesthetic feel. They just don't feel good. They feel very old and dated. Here it is brighter colors, it feels newer, and it looks tremendously better. Even the floor, the carpeting in this room is a whole different color. It is a light gray color with a small pattern on it, giving it that modern rug kind of feel that you may see on Wayfair or somewhere like that. It looks really modern, but yet in a traditional kind of way. It's not overkill, but I think they did a really good job keeping to the aesthetics of what a cruise ship cabin should feel like while updating it at the same time. They also have moved the safe location. So traditionally on the Freedom of the Seas, above the television, there is a glass shelf that honestly I've never really used because, number one, I don't like clutter and I like things to be hidden. I'm not one of those that wants, glass cabinets in my kitchen where you can see the mess behind it. I want to wall that stuff off. Here above the TV, it is a cabinet, so you've got the safe that's moved there, and above that you've got another shelf. I personally think that this is an upgrade. It gives you an additional shelf as well, because in the Navigator, on the Freedom of the Seas, there's only that one small glass shelf. Here I now have two shelves that are closed off, so I would say that is a win for the Navigator as well. You're also going to see in the bathroom, the two cups they have are sitting out now. So they've got two glass cups in there traditionally. Those are on the right-hand side inside of the sink mirror. Here, they're sitting outside. Honestly, I kind of like that you see them, but again, to me, it's kind of wall clutter. Like, I don't want to walk in and see my glasses just kind of hanging out there. I get that some people like that, but I would personally prefer them to be in the mirror. So I would consider that to be a win for the Freedom of the Seas because it does hide them away. The other item is the Lavazza coffee maker. So I love my coffee. I will certainly use the machine. You see me in Cafe Promenade. You'll see me here using my Lavazza machine. Here it is on that side table that on the Freedom you may have heard me mention. I don't necessarily know what to do with it. That's where I put my mixers and elixirs. On this ship, it is fully taken by the Lavazza coffee machine. You cannot get anything else on that shelf. And there's not even a power adapter over there. There's no way to plug in the coffee machine on that table. So I don't know if the dresser here that I'm sitting at is not as long. There's not that extra space for it. I'll have to go back and check that out. But it's in a horrible location. You have to pick it up and move it to put it on the desk and then move it away if you don't want it to be on your desk. Or in my case, I had a really kind stateroom attendant who brought me a legal power cord to have on board that stretches from the outlet here all the way to my coffee maker. So I just boop, plug that in, and I am good to go, and I am in business. Does not look the best in the world, but it gets the job done. This one would certainly be a win for the freedom of the seats because it actually has a spot for the coffee machine beside of a plug that is not in the way. All right, so those are my quick observations on the big differences between the Navigator of the Seas and the Freedom of the Seas Junior Suites. I think there's some pretty big issues inside of there. I do love that this room is fully redone. The upholstery, the carpet, it all looks wonderful. But there's some things that I don't like as well when it comes to how the room is laid out with the coffee machine or where they put their glass cups. Very nominal at the end of the day. Again, I would much rather be on a cruise ship than not on a cruise ship, so I can absolutely make those things work. So this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see you on a Weekend Cruise soon.